Hello children, it is awesome to see you again with another lessons on civic education grade 8. Today my focus is on unit 4. The topic is contemporary issues. In the modern society, accidents and disasters faced by man can be divided into two categories such as natural disasters and man-made disasters. So let's have a look what comes under man-made disasters first. As you all know, road accidents take a prominent place in terms of man-made disasters. Next, bomb blast. Very recently, we experienced this bomb blast due to terrorists and improper disposal of garbage. That has become a very common and crucial issue in our society. And mines and excavations is another reason that can be pointed out as man-made disasters. Then let's move on to natural disasters. So natural disasters take place due to two major reasons. The first one is due to physical processes of the earth, for instance tsunami, then earthquake and earthquakes. So it can also take place due to changes in weather or climates. As a result, floods, storms, cyclones and bushfire may take place. So I want to mention you another point that bushfire can take place due to man-made disasters even, but naturally we consider it as a natural phenomenon. Okay children, please pay your close attention to the definition of natural disasters. So natural disasters in the sense unfavorable conditions caused by extreme nature of the natural phenomena of the earth and its surroundings. So when talking about the natural disasters, we Sri Lankans mostly experience one of these. Can you guess what it is? It is definitely flood. So I hope it is much important to talk about floods because we in the real lives we actually experience that. So we consider flood as a natural phenomenon or a natural disaster. There are two immediate causes for flood in Sri Lanka. First one is excessive rain and high tides in reservoirs. The second thing is blockings of estuaries on river banks. Even then, there are man-made situations or man-made activities that affects or that causes flood. That is what we call human interventions. For instance, deforestation, illegal constructions on the river banks, sand mining, and illegal disposal of garbage and other sewage systems into the waterways are some of them. At the same time, let's consider what the remedial measures that we can take to reduce the damage to the caused by floods. The first thing is we should refrain from consuming food from flood affected areas, then push to the safer place and making the public aware of the changing weather conditions. In this regard, the meteorological department has a major role to play. Now the topic is disasters due to human activities. Under this, there are two prominent accidents in Sri Lanka. The first one is road accidents and the second one is hazards that occur due to chemical substances. Okay, when talking about road accidents, there are primary causes for road accidents. I have noted them down here. The first one is faults made by drivers. Under that, I can point out the exceeding speed limits, driving under the influence of alcohol, and not paying attention to weather conditions. For instance, on rainy days, the driver should slow down when driving, but they do not follow such weather conditions. Second one is faults made by pedestrians, that is not caring about or the ignorance of road signs and markings, and wearing dark colored clothes at night, and also walking in groups. Third one is improper roads, then roads in dilapidated conditions and traffic congestion. Absence of road signs and markings where necessary. Oil patches on roads. Winding roads, winding in the sense with many kind of bends, or the roads with hairpin bends is an example for that. Next, the defective conditions of vehicle, that is the poor maintenance of the vehicles, worn out tires and improper functionings of brake systems can be pointed out under this. Next, let's consider the hazards that occur due to chemical substances. First, let's discuss the need for chemicals. We use chemical for diverse purposes in the modern day society. For instance, as detergent, as fertilizers and weedicides, as insect repellent, as raw material for factories. But when we use chemicals in large scales, there's a big possibility to take accidents. So let's consider the steps to follow in case of chemical accident. The first one is identify the reason for the accident. Next, give necessary first aid. Third, direct the victim to a doctor immediately. Finally, submit the poison or chemical to the doctor. Okay, then let's consider the institutes that associated with these accidents and disasters. There are several institutions regarding this. The first one is Center for Disaster Management. It plays a major role in terms of accidents and disasters. Second one is meteorological departments. Usually this institute is familiar to us. They give the weather reports and weather forecasts. Next, fire brigades, Red Cross Society, it is an NGO. St. John's Ambulance Service, that is also an non-government institution. Then police and armed forces, and finally the media network. Okay, one last concept to add to this lesson, that is sustainable development. I am pretty sure that you are familiar with this topic. So let's first pay attention to the definition of sustainable development. Use of available natural resources by the present generation while preserving them for the use of posterity. Posterity in the sense future generations. It is simply about using and preserving natural resources. So in the present day world, man's needs and wants have been complicated more than ever, but the natural resources available are not on increase. There arises the problem of the scarcity. To address this issue, there is only one method, that is we have to lead an affordable lifestyle as our ancestors did. So when I come down in my memory lane, I can still remember a poem that I learned in my childhood, that is, on this tree there are many sweet oranges, mature and ripe. The branches are laden with sweet fruits, but for me and my sister only two would do. As this poem reveals, the poet and his sisters are quite satisfied with 2 oranges. So this is all about leading an affordable lifestyles. Even though there are plenty of resources around us, we should use them very sparingly, because there is another generation to use them or to utilize them. So it is our bounden duty to protect these natural resources for our posterity even. Then have a look at the steps to achieve sustainable development. The first one is refrain from overconsumption of resources. As I told you earlier, and as the poem reveals, we should not overuse the resources available. The second one is preserve energy. In this regard, we should use renewable energy sources as much as possible. What are these renewable energy sources? Geothermal, solar power, tidal waves, wind power can be pointed out as examples for renewable energy sources. The next one is adopting an eco-friendly lifestyle, using cloth bag, reed bags and other eco-friendly products as much as possible, and finally disposal of garbage properly. By following these methods, we can reach the sustainable development. So with that, I conclude my video lessons and hope to see you once again with another video lesson. Until then, take care and have a nice day.